with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Woo! We're alive, guys. You're lucky that I did not start doing curry. Okay, all right. So today, Susanna and I are going to be giving you tidbits and nuggets on how to publish a book. And if you're going to ask, well, why would we be listening to you? There's so many people publishing on LinkedIn. That's probably what the first question is. Maybe. Here's one thing that I used to show. Most publishers will just do nothing with their book. The first 4 books that we did last year, we dedicated the sales to something else. And this one I'm super proud of, because this actually, the Beyond Boundaries, is not only super successful to all the 27 co-authors, but literally we provided United Nations 5 goals out of 18. So every time that you purchase this book, even now, it goes to them, right? To reach the goal of having 27 trees in Madagascar. And I was able to actually buy trees in Madagascar for each of my author. And I use this one. So you guys can actually buy your own trees through evertreen.com/company/level-up to help us build more trees. And not only you're building more trees for the environment, right, for sustainability, but also, okay, that's your legacy, right? When you die, and we all are going to, you're going to have that legacy to support the future. On top of that, you're also supporting families and farmers' families in Madagascar. We also have some in Honduras. We have about, I think, 10 10 to 13 trees on Honduras. So that is really amazing that we're doing that. And you're probably saying, CJ, what about United States? We could, but we're very big on preservation here than most countries. So I'm not so worried about it, but we could. And of course, guys, I cannot like, I'm so proud that Level Up has leveled up. We are trying to be on our own radio soon. I'm actually going to probably have a membership of social media. It's basically, and I will have my sisters as my consultant, really. What's going to happen is that you come in and you can have a package or you could do a la carte. So, part of your, first of all, you got to have a membership to come into the community. But secondly, you are going to be amplified either through our live stream. We have a net of live streamers in our community, one being me, and two is Susanna. And we're probably going to tap into the hounds as well as we leveled up. And then part of that membership is either you can choose to be on podcast radio, you could be your own radio station. Within my radio, you can have your own time slots that you can purchase. It's going to be affordable so that everybody can amplify their message. And also you can have magazines. It just depends on the bundle that you'll get, but it is a minimum of 3 months membership, but it'll be month to month. So that's something that I'm working on right now. And I'm also still working on having our own TV channel for all the shows. It's just that transparency, I need to be discussing for expansion on the storage. So that's the reason why it's holding up. But these are some of the books that we have done, right? Of course, my sponsor Influencing You. I'm on the platform 10 a.m. PST. Sometimes it's every week, sometimes it's every other week. Sometimes I only show up twice a month, depending on the needs. But it's really social media. So if you want to learn social media, go in there. In terms of Bella Grace, I actually I love their lip trio, and I already finished my elixir. So I am taking a different elixir right now that I'm also testing, but I really love the taste of Bella Grace and that feeling. So you're looking for, when you eat and eat and eat whatever you're eating, right? It affects your entire system. As you get older, your body degrades faster because you have low metabolism. Then you're actually not walking, you're not exercising. So it even adds up more, right? And then you have, low energy. And then you have all kinds of weirdness in your body, especially if you're a woman, you're perimenopausing a lot. There's a lot to do with the food intake. So right now I'm really focusing on collaborating with people who provides good things inside my body, not just outside my body. So that is why I love this. Speaking of inside our body, elixirs are always good to have and always good to also take. I love doing elixirs right now. And then, of course, my favorite rice coffee, RYZE, right? Superfoods, ricesuperfoods.com. And you can get a coupon, Constance, CONSTANCE, Leland, LAYLAND. And then just put number 15, you get 15% off coupon. And these have all vegan and, of course, the mushrooms in it. It's so amazing. And then, of course, our anthology. It is going to be closing actually this Friday on the 16th because we gotta finish up this project. And so if you're still thinking of amplifying your voice and being part of our anthology, this is still open until the 16th. Susanna is the lead on this one. So please make sure to reach out to her, or you can reach out to me either way. We are able to help you with that. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Let me take my sister. Where's my sister? Here she is. How are you doing, sis?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. So let's go right ahead on this. Because I really, when we were talking about like, how are we going to provide the community with information, there's just so much to do that you have to look for. What you don't know until you test. I think some people know how to do, like, how to publish on Kindle, but really they still doesn't know certain things like editing, categories, marketing, all of that. So we're going
Right.
to be exposing all of those tonight, in terms of, giving them a comprehensive guide on how you can publish your book through Kindle, traditional publishing, since you have done traditional publishing. I've done the Beyond Boundaries on a different type of publishing, right? So that you can have more opportunities to share your work in the world. What's the point of doing it without, giving yourself a chance? Also
Mhm.
exploring current publishing market, where to print the books, maintain those strong skills, if it's audio form, digital forms, and also presentation, how you present yourself on both the publishing path or choose the right approach to your literary work. But the journey really is about method, like breaking down the key steps, the differences, the strategies of success for competitive markets. So let's talk about this, and I'm going to have you um, take over some of these things, like the professional editing. Let's talk about that. um, when you did your traditional publishing, did you have a professional editor?
Yeah, so when you go through the traditional side, then the publishers including the editing, so they bring somebody in to do that line editing of the book, the marketing, uh, the cover design, and all that stuff. They do it. That's on the traditional side, and so they bring somebody in, but you don't get to choose who it is, which means you get whoever they give you. And in my case, I I had some heartburn with the editor because they were changing things that it didn't make sense how they tried to change things. Uh, it's important to make sure when you're editing, you're going to look for all kinds of stuff. You want to make sure everything works, but you have to understand what the person's reading and make sure it stays in their voice.
Mm.
So the example I always jump up with is I wrote something in there about having worn a red dress with nylons, and they changed it to a red nylon dress. And I'm looking at this going, what the? Or some four-syllable words came in from them. It's like, what do I want with? I don't even know what this word is.
Yeah. And I think we heed to that too. Like, we have an option, right? When we do, and here's what we're going to offer for you guys tonight. If you have a book, or if you're already writing a manuscript, let's say that you're starting to write a book, we definitely would love to give you kind of like a kickstart, for example, right? We're able to review for free 2 pages of your story. And so this is why I said consider a beta readers for early feedback. It's important that your book has a strategy. Some people will like, no, I don't really care. I just want to put it out there for information. Well, you should care at least who's going to read it, or if there's anybody going to read it. Otherwise,
Right.
just leave it in your closet, like literally, right? Like, people, I think, has too much ego to sometimes when I talk to clients, they're like, well, I don't really care if anyone reads it. I just want to put it out there. You can write a blog then. Like, why are you going through writing a book, going through the process, spending the time, forget the money, right? Money is a lot. Spending the time so that no one can read it. Says what? What's the point? Okay, take your ego out of it and really think about the strategy of your book. What are you trying to do? Okay, some people like, oh, you can make thousands and millions of dollars. Yeah, if you actually have the marketing team that you're willing to spend about $60,000, you might get a really big return. But if you're a solopreneur and you don't have $60,000 to put your books in the New York's bestseller, then then you're not going to make millions of dollars. But the point is to live an impact and legacy. If one or two or five people read your book, that's great. That's wonderful. But to say that I don't really care if anyone reads my book, don't create a book. If you have that attitude, honestly, you're wasting your time and you're wasting everybody's time on your team, right? You need beta readers. And so Susanna and I literally volunteer to read your first 2 pages, and we can give you feedback if we're hooked or not. Meaning the first paragraph of your book should leave me wanting more. And if it doesn't, redo it. I'm not saying you have a bad book. I'm not saying to stop doing your book. I'm just saying redo it to get that hook. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, that's the whole thing. Whether you are gonna self-publish it or try and get an agent and traditionally publish it, most of them, they don't take much of that book. They only want a couple pages, a handful of pages, and they make the decision of whether they even want to try and represent you or not based on that. And then it goes from there. So the beginning of the book it makes a difference. And you got to remember, just because you think it's a great start doesn't mean it's necessarily going to have the draw with other people that you're hoping that it will. So that hook is so important. And for some people they can do it, and for others it's a bigger struggle. And you just, at that point, then you just find somebody that you can work with to help create the hook, get it going. But still, when you're writing it, you can think about how you want to start it. But once you start writing, just let the story build itself. Don't be editing while writing, because that only slows you down. And if you're like me, if you go back and it's like, oh, I'm going to go fix these couple of pages, and then you get back to where you were and you can see where you stopped, but that great idea that you had before the squirrel pulled you back is gone. And so sometimes the best thing is to do is don't edit while you write. Leave that for after you've put the story together.
Yeah, and don't do grammar editing. That's literally technical. The end of that is what you need to do. So don't worry about that. But in terms of editing, Susanna and I are going to give at least the first 2 pages of whatever manuscript you have for free to give you a little bit of feedback, because we do want to help. ISBN requirements. So from my experience, usually KDP will give you a free ISBN. Kindle doesn't really need an ISBN, but the physical book actually needs it. So you can buy your own, like you can just Google where to buy ISBN. And then Bowker or Boker is the big one. It's where we buy our ISBN anyway. But get the bulk. It's cheaper that way if you can afford it. But then you can own that book. You can change it to whatever. That's how I did it with the first book that we did for Beyond Boundaries. I really tested that book a lot. I spent money on that book to get it tested. Now, the ISBN requirements is only required if you have your own book. There's other ways you can actually use that too, because ISBN is used everywhere for managing the system everywhere worldwide. Now, cover design and metadata. So cover design, I usually just create the book design. We don't really have, I mean, I had tried a book designer before, but it just doesn't work well because it takes back and forth. I don't do back and forth, just FYI. I hate waiting. It's not something that I like to do. I'm very impatient. My family knows this. My husband spends good money on Disneyland. I went to Disneyland yesterday. My legs are killing me, guys, for Mother's Day, but it was so worth it. So yeah, it was really fun, but we had to spend a lot of money to get flash now. Let me mute because I hear you're typing. Flash lines actually right now, and so And then on top of that, Disneyland got super greedy. Like I was just telling my sisters, they actually spent I like one ticket for me to enter with some, shortcuts is like 240 bucks. One person for one day. One person for one day in Disneyland. I was like, why? Why? You know what I mean? Like it is so crazy. But in terms of cover and design, we do our own cover and design. I usually, to be full disclosure, I use Canva, and I use ChatGPT. I use Mid Journey. Okay, so I have a lot of lists actually that I have for AI that I use for certain things. I will be sharing those maybe in public, because I have a list of like where to get your music, where you get your text, where you get your your cover book and design. But when I've only done two cover design for other people, not for publishing, for something else that they want to use. But all of our books we design. So Sana designed. Well, I gave her some design, and she incorporated my design to her design. And so Against the Grain is a combination of our design, and I'm so proud of her. Right. So anyone really can do designs of your book, but I would say that making sure that not only you have your design team, but that design team doesn't take I know somebody, I'm not going to name names. I know somebody right now who's writing their book, and literally it's taken them almost a year already, and just a cover design took somebody 4 months. And then when I look at the design, I'm sorry, but it's not exciting. Like maybe it's my ADHD, it's not exciting. I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy that book. Like because I know this person, I would, but if I didn't, I'm like, so boring, so blasé. Like, there's so many noises out there. You need to stay, relevant. And yeah, no, right? So you got to make sure that you know your audience. And if your audience are minimalist, and if your audience that you're trying to send this book is somebody who doesn't care about the book cover, but people will be attracted. Remember, guys, it's all about emotions. Okay, if they can't connect with the image, they're not gonna buy. I'm just saying, they don't even care about the content. Sometimes it's like, I literally got a book, Machiavellian style leadership. Not that I would go Machiavellian style leadership, but the book is beautiful. It's like satiny and gold and bright yellow. And I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. And it's sitting in there, right? Because of the book cover. Hello. So it's really important. What are your thoughts on the book cover, sister?
Just think about how many times you walk into a bookstore and you choose the book based on the cover. The cover's what draws you. And there's a reason why some of those books, some of them are shelved going just straight in, and others are shelved where you see the cover. When they're showing the cover, that's a book that's being viewed as something that is more desirable, more saleable, more something. So that cover makes a big difference. If nobody can understand what that cover is trying to convey, they may not even open the book up to read the first paragraph to decide if they really want it or not. So the title's important, the book cover's important. All of that is part of the marketing of how you're going to get that book out there and get people wanting to read it.
Yeah, book cover makes a huge difference. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys like a kind of a step-by-step publishing on Kindle, like a shortcut version. um is that first of all, you gotta create a KDP account. Okay, it's kdp.amazon.com with your Amazon credentials. If you have one, if you don't have one, please have one. And I don't know what rock you're living in, but everyone has Amazon, at least in North America, right? I know that 15 countries, 12 to 15 countries are part of KDP. So if you're thinking, I'm going to be publishing on Amazon for the world to see, no. 12 to 15 countries. Okay, that's all. And that's the reason why Susanna and I have a hybrid publishing where we can actually reach the world. We've provided that. I have showed you Miami University has our anthology. Oh my God, I'm beside myself. It's on Amazon, it's on Powell, it's on the Netherlands Cafe. This huge bookstore has our anthology book. I was like, oh, I was beside myself, guys. But that took a year, okay? And I put it on 1,500 SEO links to press release. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of testing that we have proven that it's been done. So that's the difference between Level Up Community Publishing than regular publishing or publisher that you have. Unless they're traditional, then that's different, right? So after you do KDP and your credential, you upload your manuscript. They will accept DocX or Word doc, EPUB, or PDF. Those three. Now EPUB is literally a KDP's Kindle previewer, so that they have their own software. Sister, do you remember why we stopped using EPUB?
The EPUB had some things that it didn't. It wasn't as easy to move things around. And there's some things you have to try and remember, because if you do the EPUB, you got to remember to have a title page. You got to remember to have the page with all the legalese, as it were, and the copyright and the ISBN number if you're doing a book that has an ISBN. So all of that, and then we also kind of had some difficulties with the chapters, with the table of contents at times.
Yeah, and editing it is a pain in the what. And we're not saying we did this last year. We're saying this year we tried again, and we're like, this is why we didn't want to do it. I literally have tried because I just wanted to see if they have changed, and no, the process has not changed, guys. It is still a pain in the what. But at least we check in twice a year just to see if there's anything new, right? That's our due diligence. And then the next thing is to configure your settings, set your pricing, right? With KDP, you get about 70% royalty. The rest goes to them. That's the average, but most of the time you don't really make money. Like of the $10, you may make $2 out of that $10 from KDP. Also remember, there's categories, there's keywords, there's territorial rights. Read those. Don't just click. Read those, okay? And then the last step is really to publish after your review, submit your publishing. Your book will typically go live within 24 to 48 hours, or they say 72 hours. But I've seen mine live, and Susanna would not text me late. Hey, it's already published. I'm like, what the? I was hoping that it wouldn't be. So yeah, it's been fast for that publishing for KDP sometimes, right? For most of us. So KDP really offers authors an accessible pathway to global distribution in 12 to 15 countries. That's it. When they say global, that's literally it. The platform also handles the file conversion, the distribution, the payment processing. And sister, average 3 months you get paid?
Yeah, it's you've got the month that you publish it.
Yeah.
And then whatever you make that month, it will be basically the end of the second month after that you get published. So it's roughly 3 months. It just depends on at what point of the month you publish it. But that's what I've seen is whatever it is during that first month, then let's say you publish it in December, then you would get paid at the end of February.
Yeah. So it's roughly 3 months. So because mine is the same, it's about 3 months till I get the payment all in my account. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about is traditional publishing step by step. First, you got to research and query, right? Research the appropriate agents if you're going to have agents representing you. And then what genre. Then you got to have a compelling query letter highlighting your book's unique selling points, USP. Why is this book really good? And then your credentials. Why are you writing this book? Are you the expert of this book? And why are you the expert of this book, right? And then you submit it so that your agent have guidelines, usually like the first chapter synopsis, like a summary of what your book is about. And the expectation is about 1 to 3 months for responses and prepare for multiple submissions. And then you have contract negotiation. before you accept it, your agent will negotiate advance payment and royalty rates. Typically, it's about 8 to 15%, and I'll have Susanna take over in this after I talk on this one because she did have an agent in one of her book. And then production process. Your manuscript enters production. It goes to editing, design, marketing, distribution. It's about 12 to 18 months from contract to publication. But traditional publishing offers professional support for demands patience. So the big five publishers are Penguin, Random House, HarperCollins, and Simon and Schuster, Hachette, and Macmillan. So typically only accepts agent submissions, while smaller presses may accept like direct queries from authors. What is your experience on the traditional publishing?
Okay, I had a leg up. I've gone through that query process, and that normally is going straight to the agents. So besides figuring out what your genre is and figuring out which agents, you also have to be very careful. You can only send it to one agent per firm. So even though you think maybe a firm you're doing science fiction and this agency has 2 or 3 people that list science fiction, you have to pick one. You can't pick all 3 of them and send it. If you get a rejection from one, then you can try somebody else if you want. But they are getting hundreds of manuscripts as is, which is why they're only going to look at the first handful of pages. Whatever they say for submission, you have to abide by it. Don't go against it, because if you do, that's probably an automatic thanks for submitting. It's not working for us. Good luck finding somebody. However they want to make that sound. I was lucky in that I knew somebody who had read my initial manuscript, and then they became the buyer for a new publisher and wanted it. So that's how I got into it, which means I actually got the offer from the publisher, and then I used that to get my dream agent, because I knew who I wanted, but everything I had submitted up to that point wasn't getting through. And then once I had her, then she's like, go ahead and send me whatever you want. So it's like, okay, here you go. So she was the one that I worked with, and I'm so glad that I had her for the contract negotiations. Because what she said is, for a lot of the traditional publishing, you get an advance, which means that's an advance on what they are expecting to be able to sell. So if you get $5,000, $10,000, then once the book is published, they're going to keep track of the sales, and whatever's in the negotiation, it can be percentages, it can be values, whatever, of the books, but they're going to keep track of this, and then they're going to give you an accounting every whatever's agreed upon. Most of them, it's probably going to be annually. So everything that's sold within a year, then they will turn around, compile it, and send to you and let you know how much was sold, what the value is based on your contract, and those royalties go against your advance first. So if you get $10,000 and the book never sells enough to go more than $5,000 in royalties, you won't get any more money. You don't have to return what you got, but you won't get any more. It's only if it sells more than enough copies to sell more than that initial advance that you will actually start to get some money. And that will go through the agent first, because the agent's going to take their cut. At least with my agent, the publisher pays the agent takes their cut and then sends me my piece. So in my case, it was 85. I got 85% of it. And then at the end of the year, I get a 1099 to say this is how much I got. Now that's a nice thing to have, because then you don't have to keep track of the royalties. They give it to you right there. That process, I mean, that 12 to 18 months, heck, I think mine was almost 2 years. I was told short-term numbers at the beginning, and by the time it was done, it was almost 2 years before it finally got published.
Yeah. And also, the copyright is really quickly tell us in terms of copyright and your agents. Do you keep the copyright, or do they keep the copyrights?
The copyright's in my name, but per the contract, the book belongs to the publisher for X amount of years. At the end of that time period, you can request those rights back.
Okay. That's good. Sometimes you might not get that chance.
But when it's copyright, that's these are reasons why when you're doing traditional publishing, you want the agent.
Yeah.
You can sit there and go, but I have to pay 15%. That 15% might actually pay for itself, because in my case, what was being offered and what I ended up getting
Was more.
she doubled it,
Yeah.
which means that 15% was more than what was added
To that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also motivated to sell more because, hello, they get more cuts. So why not? So it's a win-win for both, really. Don't be greedy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but remember too, it's the publisher that's really in charge of
The whole
the
thing.
marketing and the sales.
Yeah, because they're marketing. So the key differences between Kindle and traditional publishing, guys, I kind of just summarize it. In terms of self-publishing is through Kindle, right? And then traditional publishing. And what I didn't add in here, I wanted to let you know, is hybrid, which Susanna and I do hybrid. It's traditional, but also like we can get you into places like Powell's, big in Oregon, and Barnes and Noble's big here in California, like the big bookstores is what we're saying. We can get you there, and it's hybrid, and I didn't put it in here, but that's what we provide. The timeline with Kindle publishing, you already saw 24 to 48 hours. Traditional is 1 to 2 years minimum. Susanna said 2 years. On average, when I did the research, is about 18 months. The upfront cost for editing, cover, etc., is about $5,000. And that is on the cheap side, right? Like basically you do all the work and then someone just help you with marketing and editing and book cover. That's on the cheap side, to be honest with you. Susanna and I, full disclosure, we do anthology and we do everything from marketing to editing to meme to cover page. You don't have to worry about anything other than showing up, sharing your information, and editing your work with us. We're not going to let you go. And it's $500. That's it. And you become a published author, right?
Mhm.
And then you become part of our community. And I actually put you on our Level Up community website. So I have a website that has all of our authors in there, whether they're solopreneur, they are first time author, they're second author. Like some of our authors are obviously authors on their own books. So we have those people also in our Level Up circle, right? So if you go to services and you go to our book club, we have some books in there. Or if you go to our services and you go to our authors club, we have an authors club as well. And you will see there's always for us our anthology. I'm gonna see if I can share it at the end so you can see. And then of course royalties. When it comes to royalties, we talked about 35 to 70% of retail price versus traditional publishing. You get about 8 to 15% of retail price. The creative control, if you're self-publishing, obviously you have a complete self-publishing if you're doing it on your own. Traditional publishing is limited and shared distribution. It's primarily online for self-publishing because you're using KDP. Obviously you can get your author's copy and do book signing on little bookshops and things like that. You would pay, to buy your own book. Traditional publishing, you can do online and also physical bookstore. For our hybrid, Susanna and I can do both. Okay. So if you choose to align your goals, resources, and expectations, you can definitely do self-publishing through Kindle because it offers you speed and higher per book earnings, but also just know that there are strategies to everything that you have to do. Now, I'm going to give you here a success stories and real world examples so you can actually see. Um, with Amanda Hawking, she was rejected by traditional publishers. And then she self-published paranormal romance novels on Kindle. She sold about 1 million copies in a year, earning her $2 million before signing a 2 million deal with St. Martin's Press. Colleen Hoover, she basically published her novel Slammed as a hobby after reaching the New York Times bestseller list and word of mouth, obviously, in social media. She signed with Atria Books and maintained her self-publishing for selected works. E.L. James, 50 Shades of Grey. I'm sure you guys have seen those. He actually began as a self-published fan fiction before becoming a publishing phenomenon. The trilogy has sold over 150 million copies worldwide and was adapted into a film. Obviously, you've seen the film. It's questionable, right? I'm just saying, but it was kind of hot. I'm just saying, comments. What are some of the common pitfalls? Yeah, we're going to move on to this one instead of 50 Shades of Grey. The common pitfalls is formatting failures, vanity press scams. There's a bunch of there. Rights mismanagement and marketing neglect. Sister, what is your thoughts on these pitfalls?
You got to be careful with them, because it feels like you've got so many people out there that are trying to tell you how you can do a book in a day kind of a deal. And I don't care what kind of marketing they're using to try and prove it. The story's got to come from you. So, and coming from these, I'm looking at it's like formatting failure. We've dealt with that, trying to get the formatting. That can be so time consuming. And if you are not one who can handle the format and trying to nitpick it into place, it's going to drive you crazy. Keeping the rights, and that's one of the things that we talk about so much. That's why we have an agreement for our anthologies, because we put it in the agreement that the rights remain with the author. We have first publication rights, but the copyrights stay with the author. And a lot of places, if they don't have an agreement, you really don't know what your rights are.
Yeah, Susanna's more patient on the formatting. Can I do it? Of course. I nitpick when it comes to academic publishing. I guarantee you, I will be the most nitpicker person you'll ever see. If you miss some type of reference, I'm like, no, right? I've done that for 14 years. In terms of the book, I follow Susanna's lead in terms of like making it this way. I have my own likes. Like I want like double space. I don't like single space. I freaking hate it. Listen, I'm getting older, okay? It's so sad. My husband's like, "Oh, look at the menu." I'm like, I forgot my glasses at home. And he's like, "Wait, you can't read." I'm like, "Shut up, old man." Like literally, he's wearing his glasses and I didn't. I'm like, how rude. But I really couldn't. So I was like, "Okay, can you just describe the menu? You know me. Hello, you've been married 22 years. Like what? I like seafood. Like just tell me." He's like, "Oh, this is perfect. Like seafood and steak." I'm like, "Okay, I'll get that one." Like, because guess what, guys? Okay. Formatting failures makes a huge difference. People want to read it or not read it. And you need to be consistent. You can't be like, the first page is Times New Roman 12 font size. The next page is all bolded with no spacing because it's bolded and it's like, I don't know, contradictory or something, or some other font size. No, It doesn't work like no one wants to see that. If it's something like, even if your anthology, let's say you're writing an anthology, even if your anthology is a lyrics versus a story versus a poetry, the whole formatting should still be consistent. There's stanzas, there's spaces, there's double spaces, right? I've also seen people in here that they'll just for marketing purposes, they'll say, hey, if you come into our anthology, you can have royalties. Unless you're making millions of dollars, you're getting 10 cents. I have to say. And then if there's
Yeah.
10 authors, you'll get 1 cent. What the?
Well, even those that you have to pay $2,000 to $3,000 to get into their anthologies, some of them they will publish it with 30, 40 different authors. And what they'll probably do, a lot of them, is whatever the book makes, like what we do, goes to a nonprofit. Because number one, it's a nightmare to even try and figure out how to split the money. And number two, like you said, it's not going to be a huge moneymaker. So there's nothing there to make with these anthologies.
No. So when people are like, oh, we give you royalties, I'm like, okay, so on average, you've been doing this for how long? A year? Okay, great. So how much royalty payments have you paid to your clients? And if they're not transparent, walk away. They're really just lying to you because it's transparency. You get, give me a break. You do not make money enough to give me a cut of check. It would cost you more money to send me a check than the check itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. It's giving me a headache.
The
But
time to make it, figure the numbers out. You can be spending an hour per author.
yeah. And it's like, stop.
For
And then also,
$2.50.
no, but I've seen people saying, oh yeah, I give them royalties. I'm like, what, 10 cents? Like, seriously, let's be honest, right? No. So this is the I just can't stop laughing when I heard that. The essential tips and next steps. Okay, back to seriousness here, guys. Okay. First, you got to build a platform. Start building your audience before publishing. You see a lot of these people doing live stream with a bunch of people. You see a bunch of these people do like audio rooms and things like that. They are building their platform because they're putting themselves as the authority. Transparency, kindness, and consistency is really the key. I don't care how nice they seem. If they're going to screw you at the end, there's no point. The second thing is invest in quality. Professional editing and design matters, okay? Have I edited my Rebel with a Cause with mistakes? Of course I have. Can I change it quickly? Of course I can. That's not the point, right? Don't look for perfection. Look for someone who's accountable and willing to change it, period, right? Because it's not about you, the publisher, or you, the creator. It's about the people in it. So stop thinking about it's you. It's not you. And then consider a hybrid approach. Mix publishing methods strategically. That's what Susanna and I are here, because aside from our anthology, we can work with you one-on-one. So as you prepare for your publishing, right, journey, make sure to remember that building an author platform is crucial regardless of your chosen path, because this includes developing a website, growing your email list, establishing your social media presence to connect with potential readers. That's why I'm going to have a membership for potential readers to create that community. Consider starting with self-publishing to build your credentials, or start with us, okay? And consider also doing the hybrid approach. You will pay a bit more money because there's a lot that we want to talk about on that. It's not tonight though, okay? Because we're running out of time on that one. But Susanna and I have talked about in the past about hybrid approach to self-publishing, that in details actually. So if you go back to our live when it comes to something book, watch that. Also, recommended resource include like the Business Being a Writer. There's another one for that for independent authors. Look them up. It's actually a really good way to get your feet wet. So now we are towards the end, and let's talk about the book, the anthology that we are creating.
What, this one?
Yeah, Grateful.
It's it's been a fun one putting together, because gratitude is so important. And the other thing that we do with our authors is encourage creativity when it comes to these chapters. I think we have, well, one of the chapters, because I'm looking it over now, is more like a research paper. So it's got all of the citations and everything. And then others are going to be stories, and what comes out of these stories, especially since we opened it up to, again, do photos like we did with that book right there, Scattered Pages. We've opened it up for photos. We've opened it up for actually going to 5,000 words instead of capping it at 3.
Yeah.
Whether anybody actually gets up to 5, I'm not sure, but we've had, even with 3, we've had a lot of people that showed up with around 4, and they're like, do I have to cut this? Like,
Yeah, that's why I said 5. I think it is the happy medium. I wanted to share that when it comes to the website, once you're part of the Level Up community, for publishing, the book will be published here. Obviously, 2025. There's going to be 4 here for sure. Right now, it's just 1 because that's the first one that we have. We do 1 every quarter. This one is Susanna's project. So my next project is going to be in July. Starting July, I'm gonna, as soon as we publish our book in June, we're gonna start in July, and then basically this is my next publishing called in the space between. I'm gonna change probably the title. I'm just really thinking when I did this, like once I get something, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like writing, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna, right now it's not really on, I haven't marketed it yet, but these are like the liminal spaces and personal shifts. Really what it is about like being in between, right? You see the mess on your own, and your friends can see the mess but not the world. Why not tell the world exactly how it's supposed to be so that people can relate to you, like, yeah, I'm a mess too, I did this. Now in 2024, Susanna and I published. We are so lucky because all 4 of our books are #1 international bestseller: Beyond Boundaries, Moving Beyond Boxes, Rebel, and of course Against the Grain. These were the people in our Beyond Boundaries for 2024. And then, of course, Moving Beyond Boxes, these were the people. Rebel with a Cause, and then, of course, Against the Grain. Okay. And then I haven't really put the people in here for 2025 yet. I'm going to wait till Susanna's, and then I'll put it back up again. But these are our co-authors. So you'll always be here on our website so that we can amplify your message further. Also, I will give you guys 90 days. Really, I give my authors 90 days to be on the RSS, which further amplifies your authority. Think of it as your authority. And I don't stop marketing just because, even if you're not with Level Up Academy, even if you hate our guts, we still continue marketing you. And the reason for that is because I understand professionally that it's not personal. It's not about me. It's not about Susanna. It's about the project. And we really love our project because we really think about these things deeply on an impact and legacy model. And we don't think about it like, oh, we don't talk to them anymore. No, we just continue on. Even if you don't continue on, sharing us, we will continue on. This one is my website for my RSS for my podcast. So every time that you are in my podcast and you want to purchase to be in it, you actually have your own website. Okay. And on your website, you can have all of these, like most of these people who are in here have been interviewed on my live stream, but not a lot of people want to actually watch the video while driving. So if you want, you can listen to us on all of these. And some of the areas of distribution is actually not listed, but these are the popular ones. So if you have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, iHeartRadio, Pandora, like you name it, right? We're all on there. I'm about to get in. I'm on testing mode. I'm always on testing mode to have my own radio station with music. I like karaoke, even if I sound awful. I don't care. I like to have fun, guys. That's it. That's it. Like the end. But your books actually can be here if you read them. It can be in our podcast dedicated just you alone for 90 days. So if you're in our podcast, you can actually have an air. And then if you click on that, you'll have your own websites, and you can give me your own website for free, and then go from there. Okay. So anybody can listen to you on the website, anybody can listen to anyone. And I do have a donate button in there if you'd like to donate as well, just to let you know. But it's so amazing. This journey has been so amazing. Anything I missed, sister?
On that whirlwind trip,
Yeah.
possibly, but I can't think of it at the moment.
I'm always all over the place, but I like to show everyone, the possibilities of working with us, and why working with us will amplify your message is because of the platform, right? It's not when you're doing business with someone, and the sustainability and loyalty, you need to, of course, like them, because that way the energy is exchanged well. But also you have to also look beyond the person sometimes, and professionally just look, where is my message going? How is that? I'm always consistent, whether the person is kind of neutral, but I only like to work with people who I like and have the vibe, because then the energy is not exchanged well. You know what I mean? But I love working with people. Susanna love working with people. We love getting to know you. Hopefully we can work with you one-on-one. Yeah, so that is the share for how to publish a book. Any last minute thing for your Tuesday? Do you have a Tuesday show?
I have a Tuesday show. The potential guest is still trying to double check their schedule, so I won't be able to say much about it. Whether I have that, it'll probably have a mental health focus though.
Mental
And
health
is
sure.
mental
Sweet
health.
month. Yeah. Hey, Jinx, you owe me a soda. um, you could tell on TikTok I was literally stressed out. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sell a wig. I think I'm gonna sell this wig too. I just got this yesterday, so I'm gonna probably sell this one on TikTok. As you can tell, guys, I like dancing. I like singing. I don't sing well, but it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't care if you're a professional singer. The fact that I'm willing to do it and make fun of myself, it should be entertainment for you. Hello, like what? You're like, she can't sing. I'm like, yep, but I'm showing up. Are you showing up, or are you behind that screen? Huh? Right? It's just have fun. Life is too short. People will judge you no matter what. Don't take life so seriously. There's a lot of things that you have to do seriously. Business, all these things are serious. Just have fun with it. Learn. Don't judge yourself too much, and don't put yourself in a box. Okay.
No.
Do you have a favorite quote, sister, that you would like to end it?
I can't think of a specific quote, but I would just say, when you're looking at writing, don't focus so much on whether you think you're good enough or not. If the story is there, just do it. That's what we've done with our authors. We've had them come in with trepidation, and we had them walk out ready to write the next one. And that's probably been one of the most beautiful things to see, is getting to go, don't worry, we got you, just write. And by the time they're done, they're like, I can't believe I wrote that, and I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, it's the writing bug is what we call it. You got pinched, and I love it. This is mine, guys, and I shared it on my YouTube. Writing isn't about perfection. It's about permission. Permission to show up, speak up, and shake up the world with your story. Okay. And then think about like shake, 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 shake. It's my writing.
Oh, you did have to change that, didn't you?
Oh, yes, of course. Like, what? It's about writing tonight. I'm like, shake, shake, shake. It's about my writing. That's all, folks. That's all. Nothing to see here. If you want more silliness, definitely go to my TikTok, Level Up by Doc Leland, or Instagram. I'm trying to grow that. Oh, it's been amazingly crazy and rough. But we love you guys. We pray for you. If you are in the country that you are already on Monday, happy Monday. Good morning. And the rest of the month really is going to be so flyby. And tomorrow I'm going to be teaching AI beginners, but not for you guys. It's going to be for my students. And Susanna's going to have a good night and a good day tomorrow. Right, sister?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, life is rough right now, guys, but we just laugh at it because there's nothing else to do other than do that or get depressed. Which one is it? Like we're not going to do that.
No.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But if we did become rich, we will definitely help out. I am excited for 50 inspirational connections on social media instead of on LinkedIn. I've decided that 50 inspirational connections on social media. I'm going to be talking about it a lot soon. Because and I need ambassadors for those. Let me know if you are interested. The reason being is that I want to inspire the world to be kind, to look for inspirational things in your life, and to focus on the positives rather than on the negative. We don't need a whole depressed world. We already killed lots of populations on COVID and lots of pockets. Right now, everything is so expensive. And we don't need any more of negativity, guys. We need to stay on the positive road so we can focus on living, not existing. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Are you a curious student, eager to learn new skills and make your mark in the world? Or are you a professional seeking to advance your career and unlock your full potential? You need to be equipped with effective soft skills like communication, problem solving, teamwork, and more. The Level Up Academy by Doc Leland bridges the gap between education and employment through transferable skills training. Get the soft skills you need to be more effective at work.